Sign this resignation document immediately, or we will terminate your employment right here and now." Those were the exact words spoken to me. After 27 years of dedicated service to the company I helped build, I was granted exactly 30 minutes to make a decision that would alter the course of my professional life. I ultimately chose resignation, but I absolutely refused to use their pre-drafted corporate template. Instead, I carefully composed my own version. It consisted of a single, meticulously crafted sentence. 5 days later, their corporate attorney called me at exactly 7:43 in the morning, his voice visibly tight with unrestrained panic. "Mr. Vance, we urgently need to discuss the precise legal language utilized in your resignation letter." Oliver Thorne, the newly minted chief financial officer, went completely silent when I methodically explained what my carefully chosen words actually meant. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and write in the comments what city you are watching from so I can see how far my story has reached. But let me take you back to the very beginning. Let me explain in detail exactly how I ended up sitting in that glass-walled conference room at 4:17 on a Friday afternoon in October, watching three excessively confident executives realize they had just made a catastrophic error that would inevitably cost them everything they thought they had so cleverly gained. My name is Simon Vance, and I am 49 years old. For 27 consecutive years, I proudly served as the Senior Director of Global Operations at Summit Solutions, a highly specialized software development company based in Seattle, Washington. We focused almost exclusively on enterprise resource planning solutions for large-scale manufacturing conglomerates. I originally started my journey with the company back in July of 1998 as a junior operations analyst, fresh out of graduate school with my Master of Business Administration degree from the University of Washington. Back then, I was earning a modest $54,600 annually and living in a tiny, drafty studio apartment that somehow managed to consume more than half of my monthly net income. By the time October rolled around, my annual compensation package had steadily climbed to $249,600, complemented by lucrative quarterly performance bonuses, incredibly comprehensive health benefits, and a vast portfolio of stock options that I had patiently accumulated over nearly 3 decades of relentless dedication. I was responsible for managing a complex department comprised of 53 seasoned professionals spread across 3 different continents. My specific division was directly responsible for generating $82 million in annual recurring revenue. I was not just another nameless employee with a fancy title printed on a business card. I was the living, breathing archive of institutional knowledge that essentially kept Summit Solutions functioning on a daily basis. Whenever our chief executive officer suddenly forgot the critical, nuanced details about a major client relationship during a high-stakes negotiation, my phone was the one that rang. Whenever the finance department desperately needed historical billing data from 2009 that literally existed nowhere in our current digital systems, they immediately contacted me. Whenever confused board members demanded detailed explanations for why certain convoluted operational processes existed in their current state, I was the sole individual capable of providing those thorough answers. My meticulously organized email archive stretched all the way back for 27 years. I carefully maintained fragile vendor relationships that actually predated the employment of most of our current executive management team. I implicitly understood the complicated contract negotiations that had successfully concluded before half of our current leadership had even graduated from their respective universities. For 27 years, I was absolutely indispensable to the continued success of the organization. Until suddenly, without any warning whatsoever, I was not. The cascading series of problems officially began approximately 8 months prior to that fateful October confrontation. In February, Summit Solutions was formally acquired by Vanguard Global Enterprises, a massive, faceless conglomerate valued at roughly $14.8 billion. Vanguard specialized almost entirely in purchasing medium-sized, profitable technology companies, systematically eliminating their most expensive, highly experienced employees, and immediately replacing them with recent university graduates who would eagerly accept far lower compensation packages without ever questioning the wisdom of the directives they were given. I had personally witnessed this exact pattern destroy three of our primary competing companies in the enterprise software industry over the preceding 22 months. I knew precisely what was coming our way. The corporate acquisition playbook literally never varied. The new management team arrives wearing expensive suits and making incredibly reassuring promises about long-term stability and operational continuity. Then, slowly but surely, they begin systematically eliminating anyone earning above $160,000 annually. They replace them with fresh, naive graduates making $88,000 who simply lack the professional experience to recognize that they are being completely exploited by a system designed to maximize short-term shareholder value. The acquisition was officially finalized on February 14th, Valentine's Day. I found the timing to be appropriately, almost comically ironic. The brand new management team confidently arrived on February 22nd, marching into our lobby like conquering generals. Our new chief executive officer was Julian Mercer. He was 39 years old, boasted a fancy degree from an Ivy League institution, and had previously served as an executive at a flashy startup that had burned through $50 million in venture capital funding before collapsing spectacularly in a highly publicized bankruptcy. Despite his impressive credentials on paper, he possessed absolutely zero practical, hands-on experience in the granular details of enterprise software operations. The new chief financial officer was Oliver Thorne, a 38-year-old former senior consultant at a massive management consulting firm. Oliver was undeniably brilliant when it came to constructing complex financial modeling scenarios and manipulating intricate spreadsheets, but he remained completely ignorant about how actual, functional businesses operated on a practical, daily operational level. The new chief operating officer was Gabriel Reed, 41 years old, who had been a vice president at Vanguard Global for exactly 22 months, and he genuinely believed he understood absolutely everything there was to know about software development companies simply because he had once managed a tiny subsidiary for 10 months before it failed catastrophically and was quietly liquidated. They immediately scheduled a mandatory company-wide town hall meeting for March 3rd at 10 in the morning. Julian stood confidently at the front of our main conference room, a specialized space that I had personally helped design when we relocated to this modern building over a decade ago. I had spent weeks selecting every single piece of ergonomic furniture, fiercely negotiating every complex audiovisual equipment contract, and even spending an entire weekend choosing the specific, calming shade of slate gray paint for the soundproof walls. Julian delivered the standard, incredibly predictable corporate acquisition speech that I had already heard, nearly word for word, from colleagues at three other acquired companies. "We are incredibly excited about this strategic partnership," he announced loudly, projecting a rehearsed enthusiasm that successfully fooled absolutely nobody who possessed any real corporate experience. "I assure you, nothing fundamental is going to change around here. We deeply value your immense contributions. Your current positions are completely secure. Together, we will achieve unprecedented financial success." Vanguard acquired Summit specifically because of the exceptional talent in this room, and we are fiercely committed to preserving that unique culture and your invaluable expertise. I had heard this identical, patronizing speech before, delivered with the exact same false sincerity and practiced hand gestures. Whenever high-level corporate executives go out of their way to promise that absolutely nothing will change, it almost guarantees that absolutely everything is about to change dramatically and painfully. I went home and began meticulously updating my professional resume that very evening at 10:23, sitting alone at my oak dining room table with a generous glass of expensive red wine. But I also started doing something else. Something my grandfather had explicitly taught me during his 35 years, working as a tough union representative, fighting tooth and nail for fundamental workers' rights. I started documenting absolutely everything. Every single email exchange, every newly implemented process document, every obscure contract clause, every informal vendor agreement, every client relationship detail, every subtly shifted policy, every modified procedure, and every casual conversation that seemed even remotely significant. I systematically backed everything up to 3 separate, heavily encrypted external hard drives that I kept hidden safely at home, utilizing military-grade encryption software that I purchased specifically for this purpose. I had learned this crucial, undeniable lesson from watching countless other successful companies get acquired and subsequently gut their most experienced staff members. They terminate you without warning, immediately lock you out of all internal computer systems before you can even stand up from your desk, and suddenly you possess absolutely zero proof of anything you accomplished over decades of service, leaving you with zero leverage to negotiate any reasonable severance terms. I refused to let that happen to me. The systematic terminations officially started in March, exactly 4 weeks after the acquisition closed. On March 24th at 8:47 in the morning, they unceremoniously fired 19 people. All of them were over 46 years old. All of them were earning more than $140,000 annually. All of them possessed multiple decades of irreplaceable professional experience. They quietly replaced them within 6 weeks, with recent college graduates making less than half the salary of their predecessors. The Human Resources Department conveniently referred to this mass exodus as a strategic organizational realignment. I, on the other hand, referred to it as systematic age discrimination and corporate wage theft. But I wisely kept my sharp observations completely private and continued diligently documenting every single termination, every new replacement hire, and every closed-door meeting where age or compensation was casually mentioned as a deciding factor. I recorded absolutely everything, building an impenetrable fortress of digital evidence. In April, they slowly began targeting me, specifically. It started with small, insidious things initially. They subtly excluded me from high-level strategic meetings that I had personally facilitated and attended for years without question. On April 18th, there was an important quarterly strategic planning session that I had successfully managed for 11 consecutive years. Suddenly, my digital calendar invitation was mysteriously canceled without any accompanying explanation. When I calmly asked Julian directly about this sudden exclusion, he responded with casual, practiced dismissiveness. "Oh, we are simply bringing some fresh, modern perspectives to that particular process. We certainly appreciate your past contributions, though." On April 29th, they abruptly reassigned 4 of my most critical primary responsibilities to a 29-year-old mid-level manager named Nolan, who had been with the company for exactly 11 months and possessed absolutely no fundamental understanding of our intricate legacy systems or the complex, nuanced vendor relationships that I had spent years meticulously cultivating and maintaining. On May 15th, during a massive department-wide meeting with my entire operational team present, they openly and deliberately questioned my strategic decision-making abilities in front of everyone. They heavily implied that I was, unfortunately, out of touch with contemporary operational methodologies and modern software deployment strategies. It was a classic, textbook corporate intimidation tactic designed specifically to make me feel humiliated so I would quietly quit voluntarily, ensuring they would not have to pay me the proper, legally mandated severance package. But I stubbornly refused to quit. I continued showing up every single day, performing my demanding job flawlessly, and silently documenting every slight, every deliberate exclusion, every undermining comment, and every blatant instance of professional disrespect. My personal human resources file was absolutely, undeniably spotless. 27 years of outstanding glowing performance evaluations, 0 disciplinary actions of any kind, and multiple prestigious corporate recognition awards, including Operations Excellence in 2017, Leadership, Innovation in 2019, and a Distinguished Service Award in 2022. They definitively knew they could not legally terminate me for cause, and they absolutely hated that undeniable fact. On June 27th, they eagerly attempted a completely different strategic approach to dislodge me, Oliver called me into his spacious corner office at 4:45 on a Friday afternoon. That timing is always a terrible, ominous sign. Friday afternoon corporate meetings almost universally mean bad news. He adjusted his expensive silk tie and said, "Simon, we are currently restructuring our global operations to better align with the overarching Vanguard operational framework. We are permanently eliminating your current position and creating a brand new role titled Senior Operations Coordinator. You are certainly welcome to formally apply for it, but the designated compensation is significantly reduced to $122,200 annually." I had been reliably earning $249,600 plus substantial performance bonuses. This insulting proposal represented a massive, devastating pay cut for essentially identical daily responsibilities packaged with a slightly different, noticeably inferior corporate title. It was absolutely textbook constructive dismissal, poorly disguised as essential corporate restructuring. I smiled pleasantly, betrayed no negative emotion, and calmly responded, "I will need some adequate time to properly consider this generous offer." Then I immediately went directly home and called Diana Rossi, a ferocious employment attorney I had quietly retained back in April when the ominous warning signs became completely impossible to ignore. Diana possessed 32 years of hard-fought legal experience specializing strictly in complex employment law with particular, highly sought-after expertise in wrongful termination cases involving blatant age discrimination. She had successfully represented over 200 disgruntled employees in high-stakes disputes with massive corporate conglomerates and impressively maintained a remarkable success rate of 84%. She charged $585 per hour, and I had already proactively paid her $5,265 out of my own pocket for 9 extensive strategic consultations. "They are obviously attempting to aggressively force you out," Diana confidently stated when I meticulously explained the situation over our secure phone line. "That massive compensation reduction offer is textbook constructive dismissal. Do not accept it under any circumstances whatsoever. Wait patiently for them to make their next clumsy move." I waited patiently for exactly 38 days. On August 4th at 3:15 in the afternoon, I finally received the ominous communication I had been anticipating for months. Julian's polished executive assistant sent an urgent, vaguely worded email. "Mr. Mercer would like to meet with you in Conference Room C at 3:15 today. Please make yourself available immediately." Conference Room C, notably not his private office. That meant there would be official corporate witnesses. That meant formal, recorded corporate business. That meant inevitable termination. I calmly printed out my one-sentence resignation letter, the exact one Diana and I had meticulously drafted 4 weeks earlier after multiple intense revisions, folded it carefully, and placed it securely in my tailored suit jacket pocket. Then I walked slowly and deliberately to Conference Room C at exactly 3:15. Julian, Oliver, Gabriel, and Clara Jenkins from Human Resources were already seated comfortably on one side of the long mahogany conference table, positioned exactly like an imposing panel of judges evaluating a condemned defendant. 4 expensive leather portfolios were arranged neatly in front of them. 4 matching silver pens. 4 matching expressions of false, rehearsed sympathy plastered across their faces. Julian vaguely gestured toward the single isolated chair positioned directly across from them. The designated defendant's chair, isolated, facing the unified prosecution. I sat down calmly, making sure to maintain steady eye contact with each of them. I had mentally rehearsed this exact pivotal moment at least 80 times in the shower, during my commute, and while staring at the ceiling late at night. "Simon, thank you for making time to meet with us on such short notice." Julian began with forced artificial friendliness. "We urgently need to discuss your long-term future with Summit Solutions." Translation: "We are officially terminating your employment right now. As you are well aware, we have been aggressively restructuring to strategically align with Vanguard's broader operational framework. We have made some incredibly difficult decisions about our leadership structure moving forward. After extensive, painful consideration, we have decided to move in a totally different direction with the global operations role." Translation: You are fired and we are hiring someone significantly younger and vastly cheaper. I said absolutely nothing. I just sat there and waited patiently. Diana had coached me extensively on the immense psychological power of silence. Let them talk, she had advised me. Let them make their empty threats. Observe everything carefully. Stay completely calm and totally composed. Oliver enthusiastically jumped in, his youthful voice practically dripping with thick, false sympathy. This is obviously an incredibly difficult situation for everyone, Simon. We deeply recognize your 27 years of dedicated service, but we firmly believe it is ultimately best for everyone, including you, to pursue exciting new opportunities elsewhere. We are prepared to offer you two distinct options today. He slowly slid a thick manila folder across the polished mahogany table toward me. Inside were two separate documents, both already fully prepared, simply waiting for my binding signature. Option 1, Oliver continued confidently. You voluntarily resign effective immediately. We will generously provide 4 weeks of severance compensation. That amounts to $14,400, plus your accrued vacation time. We will officially provide a strictly neutral professional reference. It is a clean break, with minimal legal complications. You get to gracefully leave with your professional dignity completely intact. 4 weeks of severance after 27 years of blood, sweat, and tears. That was deliberately, intentionally insulting. Washington state law did not explicitly require any mandatory severance at all, and they knew it perfectly well. They were aggressively counting on me being too deeply frightened, or simply too emotionally exhausted, to put up a fight. Option 2. Gabriel added with barely concealed arrogant smugness, we officially terminate you for essential restructuring purposes right here and now. You receive absolutely nothing. No severance payment whatsoever, no vacation payout, nothing. And we will permanently note in your official employment file that your position was decisively eliminated due to strategic redundancy, which definitely does not create the most favorable impression for your future employment opportunities. That was a blatant, undeniable threat. A clumsy, incredibly obvious corporate threat, but a highly coercive threat nonetheless. They were explicitly telling me, take the pathetic pittance we are offering, or we will intentionally make it exponentially harder for you to find decent work anywhere else in this industry. I calmly opened the manila folder. Inside was a pre-written resignation letter meticulously printed on official Summit Solutions letterhead. All I needed to do was sign at the bottom dotted line. The letter blatantly read, I, Simon Vance, hereby resign from my position as Senior Director of Global Operations at Summit Solutions effective immediately. I fully understand that I will receive exactly 4 weeks of severance compensation and my accrued vacation time as my final, binding settlement. I unconditionally release Summit Solutions and Vanguard Global Enterprises from any and all legal claims related to my prolonged employment or the termination thereof. It was an obvious trap. If I hastily signed that deceptive document, I would be permanently waiving all my hard-earned legal rights to pursue any future legal action for a miserable $14,400. I looked intently at all 4 of them. They were young, excessively confident, and absolutely certain they had successfully backed me into a dark corner with no possible avenue of escape. Julian was conspicuously checking his expensive smartwatch. He probably had fancy dinner reservations scheduled for 6 in the evening. Oliver was smirking slightly, clearly enjoying his newly acquired, perceived corporate power. Gabriel was leaning back comfortably in his plush leather chair, acting like this tedious meeting was already successfully concluded, and he had won a decisive, crushing victory. I thought fondly about my grandfather, who had bravely spent 35 years as a construction foreman, relentlessly fighting for fundamental workers' rights. He taught me one incredibly critical, unforgettable lesson when I was merely 16 years old. Never sign absolutely anything without reading it thoroughly at least 3 separate times. And never, ever let people wearing expensive, tailored suits bully you simply because they possess fancy corporate titles. You have fundamental legal rights. Know them implicitly. Use them ruthlessly. I will resign, I said calmly, breaking the tense silence. Visceral relief flooded their anxious faces almost immediately. Julian actually smiled broadly. Excellent mature decision, Simon. Very professional of you, truly. You can just sign right there on the dotted line. I will write my own personal resignation letter, I interrupted firmly, my voice echoing slightly in the soundproof room. The smug smiles faltered slightly, replaced by fleeting looks of confusion. Well, we have already prepared one that comprehensively covers all the necessary legal requirements. Oliver stammered, gesturing toward the folder. I will write my own, I repeated, my tone leaving absolutely no room for debate. Unless you are actually planning to explicitly dictate what specific, exact words I am legally allowed to use in my personal resignation letter. Julian hesitated for a fraction of a second. He knew he absolutely could not physically force me to use their pre-written template without effectively admitting that this entire farcical process was highly coerced. Fine, write your own. We absolutely need it delivered by the end of business today. 5 in the afternoon sharp. You will have it within exactly 1 hour, I said, slowly standing up from the defendant's chair. I proudly walked out of conference room C at 3:37 in the afternoon, leaving them sitting there with their useless pre-written documents, their matching silver pens, and their hollow, false victory. I walked directly back to my private office, firmly closed the heavy wooden door, locked it securely, and flipped open my laptop. I had actually already written my resignation letter 4 weeks earlier during a restless, sleepless night when I knew this inevitable confrontation was rapidly approaching. I drafted my resignation carefully alongside Diana, my legal counsel. We spent 6 grueling hours analyzing every word. The final letter was exactly 1 sentence of 42 precisely chosen words. I sent a brief encrypted message to Diana. They delivered the ultimatum. Resign immediately or face termination. She replied instantly. Send it exactly as we wrote it. Do not add anything else. Just that 1 sentence. I quickly printed it on crisp letterhead. I signed it using dark blue ink. I made 4 identical copies. Then I walked back to conference room C at 4:17. Julian, Oliver, Gabriel, and Clara were still sitting there. I calmly handed Julian the crisp letter without speaking. He skimmed it incredibly quickly. Fine. This is perfectly acceptable. Human Resources will process your final compensation package. I interrupted him smoothly. I need all severance details comprehensively documented, including the exact financial amounts and the precise payment timeline. Oliver rolled his eyes. 4 weeks' salary. We already told you explicitly. $14,400. And my accrued unused vacation time? I have 185 hours saved. That is fully included, Clara chimed in quickly. And my outstanding approved expense reimbursements? We will include everything, Gabriel said. Go now. I walked out of that glass-walled conference room at 4:24. I packed my personal items into 3 sturdy cardboard boxes. My phone was buzzing continuously with panicked text messages, but I deliberately did not respond. Total radio silence until they finally understand. I drove home silently at 5 o'clock. I set the heavy boxes inside my living room, poured myself a large glass of red wine, and waited. They figured it out exactly 5 days later. Tuesday morning at exactly 7:43. My phone rang loudly. It was Richard Sullivan, General Counsel for Vanguard Global Enterprises. I desperately need to discuss your resignation letter immediately. I set down my warm coffee mug and smiled widely. Here we go. Of course, Mr. Sullivan. How can I possibly help you this morning? There is some significant confusion about the specific legal language you deliberately used. Specifically, the phrase stating, your resignation is effective upon receipt of complete settlement of all compensation legally owed. Can you clarify what you meant? I calmly opened my laptop to the massive detailed spreadsheet I had prepared. Certainly, Mr. Sullivan. It is straightforward. My formal resignation only becomes legally effective when I receive the complete settlement of all amounts owed to me under my binding employment agreement and applicable Washington state law. Until that comprehensive settlement is received in full, my resignation simply has not taken effect, which implicitly means I technically remain a fully active employee, retaining all corresponding rights. Silence. A very long, agonizing silence. Can you repeat that exactly? His polished voice stammered. My resignation is highly conditional. It does not become legally effective until you pay me everything you legally owe me. And what exactly do you falsely believe we owe you? Let me provide a comprehensive breakdown. First, my standard base salary running through the actual date of resignation, $19,200. Second, my fully accrued unused vacation time, $22,200. Third, my outstanding approved expense reimbursements, $5,573. Those three items total exactly $46,973. That is the beginning. What do you possibly mean, the beginning? His voice had gone up an entire octave. Fourth, my annual performance bonus, $199,600. I distinctly heard something heavy drop. Hold on, we urgently need to review this. Fifth, my vested stock options. I have 67,600 stock options that vest immediately upon any change of corporate control. They are collectively worth $1,948,908. Sixth, my contracted severance package, $548,000 in base salary, plus $40,950 in health insurance premiums. You are insanely saying we owe you over $2.7 million. His voice had cracked. $2,777,311, plus interest steadily accruing at the statutory rate. Since my resignation has not become legally effective yet, I am still accruing my daily salary and absolutely entitled to all benefits. This is completely absurd. You absolutely cannot do this. Actually, I can. Conditional resignations are perfectly legal in Washington. You accepted my resignation without reading it carefully. That is your devastating mistake. We will fiercely fight this in court. You absolutely should. I possess 27 years of documentation showing systematic age discrimination, or you can simply pay me what you legally owe me. He ended the call violently. Richard Sullivan called me again at 6:18 in the evening. Vanguard would desperately like to discuss a rapid settlement to resolve this matter quickly. We are fully prepared to offer you $1.5 million as a full and final settlement. Take it or leave it. I will leave it. As I explained, you legally owe me $2,777,311 minimum. Final offer, plus attorney fees of $82,485. I urgently need it within 20 business days via immediate wire transfer. He painfully called me back at 8:47 that night. Deal. We will wire the funds within 20 days. On September 3rd, I joyfully received a massive wire transfer for $2,859,796, the full settlement plus attorney fees. Sometimes the best revenge is simply getting exactly what you are legally rightfully owed.